As I look back over 19 years of being in the bodywork industry, first as a massage therapist and then as a craniosacral therapist, and now as a mentor and business coach for bodyworkers, I have seen my fair share of downturns during that time. And here's what I know to be true. The best way to keep your business afloat during difficult times comes down to just a few simple things. Let's talk about those now. Welcome to Do It With Intention, the podcast for massage and bodywork therapists. I'm your host, Mindy Totten, a mentor and coach for bodyworkers who want to turn their passion for the work they do into successful businesses that they love, all without burning out or selling out. For the last 16 plus years, I've created a successful six-figure craniosacral therapy practice in a small city in coastal North Carolina. Over those years, I have met so many skilled, big-hearted therapists who were struggling to make their bodywork businesses work for them. Not because they weren't terrific therapists, but because they didn't know how to make the business side of their practices work. It became my mission to help other massage and bodywork therapists build practices that support not only your soul, but also your bottom line. On the Do It With Intention podcast, we dive deep into what it takes to build and to sustain a profitable massage or bodywork business. We have honest conversations about what really works and what doesn't as you create the ideal practice for you. After all, you do great work in the world and you deserve to make a great living doing it. But you've got to be intentional about it, not only in your modality, but in your business too. That's how bodyworkers do it with intention. This episode is brought to you by perhaps the most important training you can use right now in your massage or bodywork business. My limited time masterclass, Navigating Change, Running Your Bodywork Business in Uncertain Times. In the midst of inflation, war, and global uncertainty, it's easy to just want to hide. You think that you should be doing something right now to work on your business, but you're not sure what to do. And it's hard to plan when you don't know what you're planning for. Navigating Change is a free limited time webinar that I've created that will help you to get grounded and centered around your business. I'll walk you step by step through 3 concrete actions that you can take right now so that you and your practice will emerge from this time stronger than ever. This training takes pieces of what I've been using with my students inside the Bodywork Project, and now you have the opportunity to get a taste of that support with the Navigating Change webinar. Go to mindytotten.com/change to learn more and to register. The webinar is only available on August 15th and 16th, so be sure to save your spot today. The Navigating Change webinar is your ticket to building a strong business foundation for your practice so that you're ready for whatever the world throws at you. I can't wait to see you there. Register at mindytotten.com/change. And now let's get into the episode. Hey there. Welcome back to the Do It With Intention podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Totten. I hope that you are hanging in there. There is a lot going on in the world right now. And I've been seeing a lot of things kind of in the online marketing world, business community, lots of stuff about creating a recession-proof business and 9 ways for your business to beat inflation, what you need to do today to keep up with inflation, things like that. And I'm wondering, is that really a thing? Like recession-proofing your business, is that really a thing? As I look back over 19 years of being in the bodywork industry, first as a massage therapist, then as a craniosacral therapist, and now as a mentor and business coach for bodyworkers, I've seen my fair share of downturns. And here's what I know to be true. The best way to keep your business afloat during difficult times comes down to a few simple things. So let's talk about those now. Number 1, you need to have a solid business foundation. I know, man, sometimes I sound like such a broken record, but it is true. You have got to get the business side of your practice in order. You simply can't keep a business running when things get tough if you don't have a strong foundation for your business. And I know that you didn't get into this work to be a business person. I didn't either. But if you want to have a sustainable practice, you've got to pay attention to the business side of things, and you've got to create that solid business foundation. Back when I was starting out in about 1,000 years ago, I was going to say in 2003, actually, I just thought, see if any of this sounds familiar. I just thought all I really needed to do was open my door, like hang out my shingle. And I thought if I did really excellent work, that everything would take care of itself. And I thought, in this strange way, looking back on it, I thought that paying attention to the business side of things somehow, I don't know, made my work less genuine, maybe less sacred in my own heart, less powerful somehow. So I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to pay attention to the business part. I floundered along. Oh gosh, y'all. I floundered along. I was vacillating between being totally shy about my business, like not even being able to speak of it, and then being some kind of this freaky extrovert, because that's what I read online that I was supposed to be doing. You may have heard the story before, but I I had just opened my doors and I knew almost no one in town, but I did know our realtor who sold us our house. And so she had a Christmas party. And I was like reading all these online things about, have the confidence, fake it till you make it, all that stuff. And I was like, all right, there are going to be people at this Christmas party, and I'm sure that all of them are going to want massages. I was offering massage at the time. And so I brought my giant clunky credit card machine with me. Those of you who have been around the block for a while, it's not your first rodeo. You remember those, they're like these little slips of paper that were carbon copied, and that big clunky machine, and you put it down the credit card and go over it. I brought that giant thing with me into a Christmas party. Like, oh God, I'm so embarrassed for myself, even thinking back on that. But it was either like I was either too shy to either even mention to anyone at the party that I was a massage therapist, or this other extreme where I was doing something that somebody else told me to do, even though it didn't feel genuine with me, even though it didn't resonate with me, because I didn't have a solid foundation. So finally, I reached out and I got some coaching to get my business in order and to help me get the help that I needed to do what I really wanted to do, which was to practice craniosacral therapy. So how do you create a solid business foundation? That's, you can get pieces of it from this podcast, of course, but also that's what we do inside the Bodywork Project. And our next round begins on August 25th. So you'll be hearing more about the enrollment period when it's open in the next few weeks with these podcasts. But also, if you are a member of my email list, you'll get information about that. You'll be the first to know when doors open. And you can also go to the show notes at mindytotten.com/podcast, and you can learn more about the Bodywork Project there. But whatever you do, whether you get support from me or from somebody else, you need to do what you need to do, what works best for you to create a solid business foundation for your practice, because that is what's going to help you get through these difficult times. The second thing that you can do is you can be consistent. So in my own story, I got some help in 2004, 2005. Now fast forward to 2008. I had just made the pivot to stop taking massage clients so that I could focus exclusively on craniosacral therapy. I'm telling y'all, I was in heaven. Like, this was my dream, and I was finally going to be doing it. I'd finally be getting my ideal clients. I'd finally be doing the work that I was meant to do. And then the housing market collapsed. People were losing their homes. The community where I live relied on development dollars to lure in tourists and builders and real estate agents. So many people I knew were filing for bankruptcy. It was a really, really scary time, like now, and no one knew what the future held. And I was scared too. So I got some support from my business again in the new place where I was with it. So I sort of had this idea, okay, I'm going to reach out, I'm going to get support, and then I'll have it all figured out, right? Right. As we all know, right, the journey, our own journeys aren't linear. We don't start at one place and then end up at the other. They're more cyclical, right? They're kind of a spiral, and you start off, and then, in my life anyway, and I'm sure in many of you as well, you revisit the things that you need to to go through and to experience and to process to be able to have the growth that you were meant to have on this journey. And believe me, I was on the spiral, right? So the housing market collapses. I had just said no more massage clients, only craniosacral therapy. And what I realized working with this business coach was that I had to be more consistent in my outreach. And I had to detach from outcomes. Like I couldn't curl up in a ball like I wanted to every time that I reached out to somebody and maybe they said no, or they didn't call me back, or I didn't hear from them again. I had to take small baby steps every single day to get where I wanted to be in my business, no matter what was going on in the outside world. And for me, that meant reaching out to other practitioners and not being upset or offended if they didn't get back to me. It meant asking current clients for referrals. It meant being consistent with my email newsletters to clients. And people began to learn that they could count on me. And what happened was that bodywork became the thing that people put money aside for so that they could better cope with all of the uncertainty of those years. And the main piece of it for me came from being consistent. So you need to be consistent too. Whatever you say you're going to do that and do it consistently. Now, number 3, and probably the most important way, perhaps the most important way to get your business through any tough times is to get support. I had this weird thing where I felt like I had to do it alone. Like I felt, this is, again, I'm sharing all my embarrassing stuff with you, but I felt somehow like some kind of a loser. And I hate even using that word. Like that's not a word I would ever use to describe anyone else, but that was a word that I was using in my mind to describe me. I thought like I was, if I had to reach out for help around this, then I must be some kind of a loser. Crazy. You don't have to do this alone. And here's a secret. All those therapists out there who you admire, they've all gotten support around their businesses, all of them. There's no shame there. Think about it. You didn't know how to do your modality until you got support to learn it. Neither did I, right? So what makes us think that we should just sort of somehow magically know how to run a business, especially during turbulent times like we're in right now? When the pandemic crashed down on all of us a couple of years ago, I would have absolutely given in to despair and fear around my business if I wasn't a part of a program where I had individual mentoring and the support of a group of like-minded businesswomen. And I encourage you to reach out for support too, however that looks for you, whatever resonates with you. As you heard at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to be presenting a limited time masterclass, August 15th through 16th, called Navigating Change, Running Your Business in Uncertain Times. It's a free webinar where you'll learn more about creating an intentional business foundation, and you'll learn how to plan for your business and adapt to changes. You can learn more about that. It's free, of course, and you can register at mindytotten.com/change. However you decide to get support, it's okay to ask. We all need one another. We're all doing our best, right? Modeling along, doing our best to walk one another home. And it doesn't have any shame, or there should be no embarrassment if you feel that you're in a place right now in your practice where you need some support, where you need some assistance. And if the Navigating Change webinar resonates for you, we'd love to see you there. Okay, that's it for today. Remember, there's no silver bullet or magic pill for having a business that's going to thrive when things are tough. But by having a solid business foundation, by being consistent, and by getting the support that you need, you and your business will be able to survive and even thrive no matter what the world throws at you. All right, that's it for this week. Be sure to check out the free webinar at mindytotten.com/change, and be sure to keep your head up, keep doing your beautiful work, and keep doing it with intention. Thanks for coming on this journey with me today. I know what it takes to find time to fit something like a podcast into your busy day, and I so appreciate that you tuned in and listened all the way to the end. We've got all the links from today's episode in the show notes that you can find over at mindytotten.com/podcast. That's Mindy Totten, TOTTEN.com/podcast. If you really enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love for you to take a quick moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And make sure that you subscribe so that you can download each episode as soon as it comes out. That'll help us get this podcast in front of more massage and body workers like you so that we can all work together to make the world a touch kinder. Okay, that's it for today. It's my pleasure and my privilege to be with you on this journey. I'll see you next week, same place, same time. Until then, get out there and do it with intention.